How is it already this time of year, my friends? I had no idea, to be honest, that the Goodreads Choice Award nominees list was coming out. It is high time for me to predict and react to what is going to be forced upon me to read in December. I'm actually very excited. I love doing this video every year. I love cobbling a list together of 20 books I think are going to be on the Choice Awards, looking at the actual list and being completely shocked and surprised when some of my faves don't make it on, when shit that I'm not excited to read does in fact make it on. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time. Let's talk about 20 books that I think are going to be there, and then let's also react and be surprised together collectively. Does that sound good? I think that sounds good. Let's do it. Problematic Summer Romance by Miss Allie Hazelwood. This felt like, of course this is going to be on the list. Allie had at least 3 romances published this year that I feel like could make it on. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and put Deep End up here too. Deep End was the first and then Problematic Summer Romance, but on my list, the one that came to mind instantly was Problematic Summer Romance. Now, I'd be shocked and surprised if both of these aren't on the list. One that I don't think is gonna make it, just because I don't know what the date cutoffs are, nominees, would be Mate by Allie Hazelwood. I know people liked that book. Some reason Goodreads tends to categorize paranormal romance as contemporary rather than fantasy romance, so I think it's going to be in this category if it's there at all, but that's not one of my predictions. My first 2 are Problematic Summer Romance, Deep End, both amazing books, both, I mean, hey, it's Allie, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there. Next is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Again, another book that's gonna be there. We just know it. It's not even a question at this point. We just know that Abby Jimenez is going to make it on a Goodreads Choice Award nominee list. Now, this is where things get interesting because those 3 came to mind immediately. I primarily try to make this list based on just what comes to mind immediately. Sometimes I do some sleuthing. I'll get on Barnes & Noble and see what books are popular, or I'll get on my read list for 2025 and see what books I liked and what books were published this year. That's always helpful. One that I think is going to make it on there is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. Know that an Elsie Silver is probably going to show up here, and she did have a couple of releases this year, so again, it was like a question of which one it's going to be, but I feel like it's usually the one that I forget about or the book that was published sooner in the year, so that is why my eyes are on Wild Side. I think this one's going to make it on the list. I did like it. I thought it was good. If it makes it on the list, that's one less book that I have to read that I haven't read already, so again, wouldn't be mad. Is it like the best of the year? I mean, debatable, but I did enjoy it. Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. It's Kennedy Ryan. She has been snubbed before. Sometimes when her books get published later in the year, they don't end up making it on Goodreads Choice Award lists, but this one was published pretty early in the year. I'd be shocked and surprised if this one wasn't on the list. I'd be pretty pissed. Even though I didn't love the book, like it needs to be there. It needs to be there. Yes? Yes. Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I think this one came out in January. Loved this book. I think this book got a lot of hype and attention when it came out, and I think it's still generating attention and hype now. I thought this was a great one. I loved this contemporary romance, and it really took me by surprise because Sarah Adams tends to be pretty hit or miss, but I thought this was so sexy, so romantic, and I think it should be on the Goodreads Choice Award nominee list. Next up, we have Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone. Now, this is sort of a wild card pick, but so many of you recommended Cara Stone to me. To me, that denotes popularity. Like, I'm not saying that all of my subscriber base is representative of all of, romance readers out there. I know that, for instance, like my subscriber base probably isn't reading a lot of H.D. Carlton or Bryn Weaver. Like, that's just not, I feel like, the kinds of books that I read and the sorts of readers that I tend to pull into my orbit. That being said, I think that Promise Me Sunshine and other books by this author have been getting a lot more publicity as of late. She's still kind of like underground, but I think maybe this is the year that she shows up on the Choice Awards. I don't think I read the other book for the Choice Awards, right? Am I crazy? Maybe I did. I think this should be on the list. I liked it. Next, I have Spiral, which is a hockey romance. Hockey romance? No. It's hockey/ballerina. I was sort of on the fence about putting this one on here, but I did read it this year. I gave it 4 stars, and I think that we're going to need some sports romance representation on this list. I think that there weren't very many that got super hyped this year. This book was on a lot of the Goodreads lists, and that's another thing. I didn't go and look at Goodreads lists from this year and see what was recurring, but there are books that I remember being hyped by Goodreads, even if I didn't hear a ton of people around me personally reading them. So I think this one's gonna show up. I don't know, I just have this feeling. Next, we have One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This one did not immediately come to mind for me, but as I was scrolling through my read list on Goodreads, like my 2025 shelf, I noticed this book and I was like, of course. I mean, Carly Fortune always shows up there, and she's one of those authors that I feel like everybody loves in the summertime, and then maybe we promptly forget about in the fall, but I do think that she's gonna show up, and I'm actually not upset this year about that because I actually like this book. I'm still shocked by that. Happy, but surprised. Next, I have Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. Now, I know Bryn Weaver has a couple of releases this year, but again, I'm going on that theory that if an author has multiple books published in one year, unless they're Allie Hazelwood, I think the first book that they published in a given year is usually the one that's going to show up on the list. The other one I think is called Tourist Season or something like that. And I feel like that book actually got more buzz from what I can see than Scythe and Sparrow, but that one came out first, and so I'm sticking to it, right? That's my pick. I'm sticking to it. I didn't enjoy that book. But again, if it makes it on the list, I don't have to read it, right? Because I already read it. Similarly, I was like, okay, who else is like Brynn Weaver? I always get Brynn Weaver and Nevessa Allen confused because their books are kind of similar, right? That kind of like murdery, dark romance shtick with like a little bit of humor. It's out by Nevessa Allen. I put on this list because people were really hyped for that one. It was the follow-up. Is it the follow-up to the... I don't remember. Whatever the second book Nevessa Allen published is, that's the one that I'm putting on my predictions list. Is it Lights Out? I don't remember. I don't fucking remember. The second book is the one that I'm putting on my list. Really, it was memorable for me. I actually didn't really like this one. The hero's name was Junior. And again, just imagine screaming that in the bedroom. I've said it once and I'll say it again. 12, I put King of Envy by Anna Huang. She has also published multiple books this year. I liked this one the best of the ones she's published, so I'm putting this one out there. I feel like this one got more publicity, more hype than the other release that she put out this year. I'm saying that with such confidence. I don't even remember what her second release is this year, but I'm pretty sure there were two. So I'm sticking with King of Envy. And I have Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. Love Liz Tomford. She does tend to show up on these Goodreads Choice Word lists as the sort of like indie or indie adjacent author. I feel like her, Elsie Silver, a handful of other authors are now kind of like taking the place of true indie authors on this list. I'm very curious actually to see if there are any true indies. Are we going to see some like Megan Quinn? Like what are we going to see? I don't know. I didn't put Megan Quinn as a prediction at all. But if a book by her shows up, I wouldn't be shocked. Next, I have Wild and Wrangled by Layla Sage. Again, Layla Sage published Soul Searching this year. That's also another option, but I am sticking, again, to the earlier published book. This is so boring. It's just me saying the same thing over and over again, but truly, I think that's pretty spot on, right, for predictions. I didn't love this book, but everybody loves the series, so of course it's going to be on this list. Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I put on the list because so many people liked Out on a Limb. I don't think many people liked this book. I don't think this book was very hyped. People do like this author, so I think this one will be on the list. I don't think People Watching would make it on the list. If it does, I'd be really shocked. But that's, again, another book published by this author this year. So the authors are really cranking them out. I am just like, honestly, hats off to authors who are able to publish so many books in a year. I mean, we know Allie Hazelwood's kind of crazy in that way, but like so many authors have published multiple books in a year. So a blessing. But also, I'm sure they're fucking stressed. First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Say it with me. This is the first book she published this year. She published multiple. I think this is the one that's going to be on the list. I preferred Good Spirits, but this one got some buzz, got some popularity. It's going to be there. It's going to be there. I also have Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore. I don't like these books. I'm sorry. It's just not my thing. I love that they exist for other people. I love the idea of a cozy small town Gilmore Girls vibe series like this. I just find them to be a little uninspired, shall we say. I just don't find that the settings and the romances are interesting enough to keep me intrigued, even though they're supposed to be like, you know, fun and cozy. I'm just like, I'm bored. Okay. But I think it's going to be there. I think this author probably also published multiple books this year, but I don't know. This is the one I read, and I'm just hoping I don't have to read another one of these. Famous last words, right? Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. It's crazy to me that it took me this long to think about this book, that this is so far down on my list because it was just that unmemorable to me. But I do think this is one of the weaker Emily Henry releases. It's my least favorite of her books. I know a lot of people did enjoy it. I mean, it's Emily Henry. Like, she has an Allie Hazelwood cult-like following, but simply not for me. Simply not for me, my friends. Next up, If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I have this book actually on my desk right now, so I can just like hold it up, right? Yeah, so I don't have to insert the cover. I am midway-ish through this book. I'm enjoying it. So many people told me to read this. The cover's cute. I could see this on the list. Because it was traditionally published this year, even though I think it was published for real, like on Kindle Unlimited or something like last year. So, and then it took me a second to try to find a number 20. And I'm saying this confidently, but I actually don't think this is going to be on the list. It seems stupid to like tell it. Overranged by Lauren Asher. Okay. I predicted Lauren Asher, I think last year as well, and I don't think that she showed up on the list. So is it a little dumb to think that this will show up? Maybe, but she showed up before. A lot of her books have showed up before. So I'm thinking it might happen. It might happen. I honestly couldn't think of anything else, right? There's some things that I am very confident about, the Abby Jimenez, Emily Henry, the Allie Hazelwood, but what are the other things gonna be? We're gonna find out. Let's find out. Okay, pull it up on my phone. I'm very nervy about this because, again, these are books that I'm going to have to read starting very soon because I want to be able to get that video out to you expeditiously, like second week of December, first week of December, whenever the actual winners are announced. So let's see. Maybe I'll also look at the Romantasy picks. Spoiler, I'm doing Romantasy again this year as well. Oh, okay. I already got spoiled a little bit. I see nominees on your shelves. Problematic Summer Romance. Yup, I sure do see that, and I am pleased with it because it's a good one. Hey, you know how I said I don't think Love Arranged is gonna make it, but I'm putting on my list? Boom. First one I'm saying, Love Arranged. Okay. I did strike out, though, I will say, with The Gingerbread Bakery, Lori Gilmore. Not the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, but The Gingerbread Bakery. If this is the only book that I haven't read on this list, I might lose my fucking mind. Can you imagine me doing a Goodreads choice word video at the end of the year and I'm just sitting in my chair talking about 19 books and then I go and vlog The Gingerbread Bakery? No, no, I don't accept that reality. We're gonna keep going. Deep End by Ellie Hazelwood. I mean, boom. Hey, not shocked, not surprised. And we know, because again, I got spoiled, Problematic Summer Romance is on here, so at least two Ellie books. Then we have Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. Am I gonna get like almost, I'm gonna be kind of upset, actually. Like here's the thing. Do I want my predictions to be correct? Yes. Would that be bad because I've read all of the books I predicted? Most of them? Yes, that would be bad. Okay, Rewind It Back. Okay. I like that. I'm happy with that. Spiral. I got Spiral too. I'm like kind of good. I'm like kind of good at this year. Oh, fuck. Okay. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. Problematic Summer Romance, Ellie Hazelwood. Obsessed with that. Love that. So good. You know, I actually say fuck, but I actually think I read this book or I DNF'd it. Story of My Life by Lucy Score. How did I not think of Lucy Score? Probably because I try not to think of Lucy Score. I bet she is a lovely woman. I give all of the props and respect to her. I truly do. I just cannot stand the way she writes books. Hater heroes, they suck really bad to me. Okay, so Story of My Life. I need to look this up. I think that I've read this book. And that would be really cool because then I wouldn't have to read it again. I'm like 99% sure that I've read this book or DNF'd it. I gave it 2 stars. Okay, cool. Cool in that I don't have to read it. Bad in that, again, I don't know what we're going to be vlogging. I'm kind of scared. Let's keep going. If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. Yup. First Time Caller by BK Borison. Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver. Okay, so we got 2 books. We got 2 books loaded, locked and loaded that we're going to be reading. This is going to be a really interesting Goodreads choice words. I don't even know how many books this has been so far. Let me count them. We're at 12. Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver. I mean, I did say it got more publicity than Scythe and Sparrow, and I was spot on, right? Because that one's on the list. Great Big... Why am I good at this? I mean, to be fair, I do this for a living. I should be good at this, but... Okay. Great Big Beautiful Life, Emily Henry. Wild Side, Elsie Silver. Again, I was right with the published first. Now, that didn't really serve me with tourist season, but it's served me pretty well, right? We've got First Time Caller as well. That one served me well in the sense that Good Spirits isn't on here, at least that I see so far. Great Big Beautiful Life, Wild Side by Elsie Silver, Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I love this for Sarah Adams. Not gonna win. It's gonna be Emily Henry, like we know that, or Ellie Hazelwood. But I love that for her. She's great. I loved that book. Till Summer Do Us Part, Megan Quinn. I said I could see a Megan Quinn on this list. There's a Megan Quinn on this list. And I don't think I've read this one, so that's another book to add to our docket. Oh my god. Okay. Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. Now I'm like kind of upset. Is that weird to say? I'm a little bit upset because that means that there's some like really great authors who don't get representation on this list. And I mean, that's just the nature of the Goodreads choice words, right? I mean, you could say the same thing about Ellie Hazelwood. There's so many Ellie Hazelwood books on this list, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think the Nevessa Allen was on here, right? There's no Nevessa Allen, which I'm surprised by, but we get double Bryn Weaver. Okay, interesting. Let's keep going. One Golden Summer, Carly Fortune, happy. Okay, cool. The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Funny story. I actually had this not on hold. I got like a lucky day loan for my library, checked it out, started listening to literally 2 minutes of it, and then I kind of forgot that I had it and it got returned to the library and I was like, fuck, okay, let me put this on hold because I'm actually interested in reading it. And guess what? I get to read it for the Goodreads choice words. That's actually kind of exciting. Glad that there's something on here that I am excited about. We'll chat reflections in a second. And then we have King of Envy by Anna Huang. So I did pretty damn good. Pretty damn good if I do say so myself. Now let's see what from my list didn't make it on here. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Stone didn't make it, which I mean, I guess I'm not shocked by. Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, which I kind of am shocked by, to be honest. Like I really thought that would show up. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. To see no Lila Sage on here I think is a little bit nuts because he's just such a popular author. Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I'm not really surprised by that one. Is that it? Wow. Okay. So I did a good job. I guess I did a good job. Was pretty right about most things, and the things that I was incorrect with, I was going to say I predicted some of them being incorrect, and I also predicted, okay, there might be a Megan Quinn. I'm pretty proud of this. I'm pretty proud of this if I do say so myself. We're going to be reading, if you want to know, in that vlog, The Gingerbread Bakery by Lori Gilmore, Tourist Season by Bryn Weaver, Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn, and The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I do believe, oh, I guess, you know what? I'll probably keep If It Makes You Happy as well to finish in that video too. So I think that's what, five books to read. or to vlog. I could be wrong. I think that it's either tied for the least amount of books I've had to read for a Goodreads Choice Word video, or is least amount of books I've had to read for a Goodreads Choice Word video, which makes me simultaneously very happy, but also simultaneously kind of sad. I love the vlogging portion of those videos. I find it to be very exciting, frankly, but it also means less work for me. You know, I don't have to like read specific books for this video, you know, besides these 5, which is also kind of exciting. So God, what do I think of these selections? Like, how am I feeling about the overall state of the Goodreads Choice Awards? I mean, looking at it is pretty white and I think entirely straight. I am not loving. Not surprising since it's the Goodreads Choice Awards, but I feel like we at least get one queer book every year. And I think this year is the first year without a queer romance. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might just like be completely missing something looking at this, but that's definitely upsetting. I don't know. I feel like at the same time, this is representative of romance this year, at least traditionally published, what was popular, and in other ways, maybe not. I'd be curious to see what books by sale numbers did very, very well, but didn't make it on this list. You know, like what books were people actually reading? That is what I'm most curious about. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be really, really interesting. That's it. I don't need to make this video longer than it is. I say as I completely forget that I was gonna look at the Romantasy picks. Let's look at the Romantasy picks, since this is also something I'm gonna be reading this year. And then I will leave you. And you won't have to listen to me yap anymore. Okay. Fantasy. What do we have here? And also like, oh God, I'm already getting spoiled. What on this list am I not gonna read because it's like a sequel, you know? That'll be something to figure out. We have Alchemized by Senlin Yu. It's really sinking in that I'm gonna have to read 1,000 pages for the Goodreads Choice Word video. Look at me just saying like, oh my God, I have only 5 books to read. That's like not enough. Why did I completely space on Romantasy? Probably because last year I think was the first year I did it, but goddamn, okay. Magical Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, which I've read. Accomplice to the Villain, which I haven't read, but I own. Bonds of Hercules, which I've not read, but I was gonna say I've read the first book. I DNF'd the first book. I probably won't pick up Bonds of Hercules. Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which I have read. Wrath of the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. I think I read the first book in that series. I haven't continued. Immortal by Su Lin Tan. I have never read anything by that author before, but I think that they're popular. I don't know. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Y'all tell me in the comments down below if you want me to read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I think that I own it, tragically, but I have not read it. I've read the first 2 books. Silver Elite I read, The Night and the Moth I've read, Our Vicious Oaths I haven't read, but I am very excited to read. So excited to see it on this list. Never heard of On Wings of Blood, but I guess I'll be reading it. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross, Songbird and the Heart of Stone, Crowns of Nyaxian #3. That one I actually am intrigued to read. I read the first book in that series and enjoyed it, but I never continued on. I have the audios, I think, for the first like 2 or 3 books, so boom. Maybe, you know what I will do? I'm gonna do a reading vlog, I think for the whole series. I think all 4 of the books are out now over on Patreon and channel membership. So be on the lookout for that if you are on either of those or if you would like to. Fun fact, you don't have to join my Patreon to see individual videos. Like if there's one video in particular you want to see, you can pay for them individually. And like you're not subscribed, so that's an option if you want to see that video. Firebound I've read, Enchanter I've read, Rose and Chains I DNF'd. Mate by Ellie Hazelwood. Oh my God, they put her shit in the right category for once. Everybody clap for Goodreads. Everybody clap for Goodreads. Shield of Sparrows I DNF'd. And Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. I read the first book. I don't think I'm gonna continue in this series if I like, you know, I say if I do the romance, I'm doing the Romantasy video. Intriguing. So how many of these, I'm gonna have to read a lot. Not as much as I expected. Okay, let me calculate. Okay, so there's 11 books that I have not read, a couple of which I wouldn't read. So Emily Wilde's I wouldn't read. I also wouldn't read Bonds of Hercules or The Wrath of the Fallen. So that makes it more manageable. That makes it more manageable for sure. So I'm feeling those fall feelings. It's also a cold day. That's why I'm in my sweats today. All that I'm left with really is I need to get to work. I need to get to work on this video. These videos. There also might be a 3rd video. I'll see y'all in December.